So this sounds a lot different from even some of the hosting models that are out in the market today. So help us understand again, what are the differences in some of the traditional hosting models that our audience might be familiar with?
Sure. Well, if we start at the base case of on-premise, is anytime I put in a substantial application, remember these are applications that don't run on a single box, but rather they require, because of the range of functions and power and capability needed, there's a series of servers, a suite of servers that's needed to run a full function ERP application. Well, on-premise, a customer has to focus on the risk of sizing those, capitalizing them, knowing is it the right size, will my capacity need to change over time. If I go to traditional hosting, I really face that same risk, and that is the outsourcing vendor is standing up a machine, the customer's committing that to that machine, is perhaps underutilizing it or has to revisit it should they need more capacity. If there's a problem in terms of availability, that machine has to be maintained and maybe out while a new machine is brought in or component parts are replaced. So there's always this challenge saying that, do I have risk in how I've sized? Do I have agility over time to adjust what I'm going to be able to do? And how am I able to support service levels? By moving to the cloud, we take a lot of that off the table. And that is, we size appropriately, but when particular capacity is needed, say for annual events like budgeting or for benefits enrollment in the human resource side, capacity is able to be allocated, again, from the vast pool that's available from Amazon. Our approach to high availability and disaster recovery is that we are able to restart, rehydrate, if you will, an instance of our applications, the multi-server instance in this virtual environment, very rapidly on alternative servers or different servers in the Amazon cloud without having to call the repair truck or wait for parts or anything to come into place. So we're very confident in our service levels. In fact, we're so confident that we have customers that are looking at and are using our S3 applications in the Amazon cloud for disaster recovery. That's a very unique twist because we used to get questions about, is the cloud secure? Is the cloud able to have the availability that I can run my critical information on it? Well, this has gone so far around that not only do we not get that kind of question nearly as much, but we're in a situation where more economical disaster recovery capability can be provided in the cloud than in traditional environments.
Okay, so let's take a look at the actual applications now available out on Amazon's Elastic Compute Cloud. How are these different, or what's unique about them compared to other vendors such as NetSuite, Salesforce.com, etc.?
When we compare what other vendors have done in this marketplace in order to pursue multi-tenancy, and that is all customers running on the same application and get the scale they need to be economic in their proprietary environments, they've had to commoditize the applications, dumb down the functionality, make it common, limit to a large degree the amount of customization that can be put in place or configuration for particular kinds of customers, so that they move towards the volume markets and push the customers into this commodity box. Instead, we're answering with full function ERP, and that is, instead of putting those limitations on, because of virtualization and the Amazon cloud supporting this virtualized environment, we can run the fuller applications through our quick step implementation processes, allow the customer to configure a lot of detailed capability, and if necessary, the customer can also add extensions or customizations to the applications, something that aren't allowed by the SaaS vendors who are relying on these highly common commoditized kinds of environment. So our difference is that we step up the level of functionality that's delivered. We deliver payroll. We deliver accounting functions such as project accounting, capital projects. On the manufacturing side, we're able to deliver demand planning, full functional manufacturing planning for the organization. In our vertical industries, such as equipment, sales, service, rental, maintenance kinds of relationships, the detailed functionality associated with that equipment, that maintenance, those lease kinds of arrangements. This isn't available for competitors. So at the heart of the model that we've seen historically, as vendors focus on saying cloud computing equals commonality, it really goes back to this question of, in cloud, can I treat computing like a commodity? is it like electricity, where your electricity is like my electricity? Well, if I move that over to computing, well, compute cycles, your cycles are like mine. Storage, your storage is my storage. It's a commodity. But I come up to business processes, maybe I can make the case that your email is just like my email, and your contact management's just like my contact management, and your expense management is just like mine. But when I cross to that next level of procurement, budgeting, planning, industry-specific functionality, the detailed business processes of organizations that are sophisticated, even though they're for a mid-market kind of company, there's a huge gap between what the commodity provides and what Lawson provides in full function ERP. So instead of going for volume markets, we're going for high fit kind of markets that now, because of Amazon Cloud and virtualization, that we're able to service, and the lower market competitors focused on volume and commodity can't fit.
Okay, then lastly, let's take a look at the expectations Lawson has for this particular offering and also the next steps.
Very importantly, Lawson as a software application vendor serves a variety of markets: mid-market, upper mid-market, large enterprises, and industry-specific applications across service industries, manufacturing industries, dominant in public sector, in healthcare, in fashion, in food, in ESM&R industries as well. Lawson is not transforming its business with the cloud announcement. Our businesses continue, our work with our customers, and how we sell applications continues exactly the same. Cloud becomes an additional deployment option that's going to be the best fit for these more modest-sized companies, but can also be a fit for customers who want to mix a little bit, that use the cloud to test drive future releases, or use the cloud to pull in separate test instances, pull in additional capabilities, or provide temporary capacity during M&A kinds of things. So we see that cloud activity will make up a portion, beginning a small portion of our revenue and our earnings going forward, and will grow over time. Our objective for investors is saying that as we add in additional cloud revenue, that this will be earnings neutral, that we'll be on exactly the same growth path that we've been on from an earnings perspective. But because of the nature of adding in some additional subscription revenue, we'll see incremental revenue, incremental contracting associated with subscriptions flowing into revenue over time as we mix traditional with subscription.
Great. So there's additional perspective on Lawson's announcement on Lawson Cloud Services. Our guest has been Jeff Comport, Senior Vice President of Lawson Product Management. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.